I mean, I still really like that level, but that kind of annoyed me because I remember being like, I remember helping the druggy dude. I really do. Wait, isn't Prologue the early section? I can't remember if I thought I played it. I must have not played it. I thought I played it in chronological. I must have not. I thought I played it in chronological
It
order.
won't be for long. Just long enough for them to find out what's going on.
Please don't leave me here.
Just for a couple of days. You'll see. Time will go by fast.
Susan, we need to go. There's no reason to drag this out.
Be brave, darling. You're strong. I know you're strong.
I feel it jumps around a little too much. I could do with a little bit of jumping around, but it jumps back and forth and back and forth, back and forth way too much. Like I could understand a little bit of jumping back and forth, but it really jumps all over the place.
Jody, I know it's hard leaving your home and your family, but here we have a better chance of understanding what's happening. We can find a way to protect you.
Nobody can protect me.
Your belongings are in that bag over there. Cole and I are right next door. If you need anything or if anything's wrong, just call and we'll come right away. Okay? Good night, Jody.
All right. Find somewhere to change. Hope they haven't put cameras in here too. Bunny Gruff, where's my rabbit?
I was gonna say she doesn't have a pillow. It's kind of weird. Did she bring any clothes?
Off to bed now, Jody.
That's a creepy looking rabbit. I guess she does have a pillow. That's a tiny ass pillow, dude.
I'm gonna turn out the light now. Good night, Jody.
Wait. Can you leave the light on in the hall? I don't like it when it's dark.
Sure. How's that?
Good
Good night.
night. Don't be afraid, Aiden. We're gonna have a good night's sleep, and nothing is gonna happen.
I've never not. I guess I haven't turned side to side. So does I guess I have to turn side to side?
I can't sleep, Aiden. I think I need a story.
What? You can do that? I didn't know you could do that. You can make fucking...
Get help, Aiden, quick!
Oh! What the...
My God, Jody! Get a doctor! Hurry!
It's okay. It'll be all right now. Aiden isn't scared of them anymore.
Entity's master. Didn't spy on Dawkins and the parents. Ooh. Woke up Cole. Vanquished the entities. Huh. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, I could have maybe spied on them as soon as they left. Oh, I should have done that. I wonder how different this
I
feels.
said no. End of story.
Please, Nathan, just this once. All the other girls in my class are going, and I won't be late. I promise, okay?
You're wasting your breath, Jody.
It's just not fair. How come everyone can go and I can't? I do everything you ask of me all week, and I never get to have any
For
fun.
the 100th time, you're not like everyone else, and there are rules.
Well, I didn't ask to be different. I just want to go out and have friends and be like other girls my age.
You'll never be like them. You need to get used to that.
Good night.
Ah! That was a little pathetic. Could have done a retake on that scream. I'm surprised they let her get. Surprised they let her get her hair done up and
I'll be
everything.
next door. Let me know if you need anything.
Went through her goth phase.
Stop it, Jody. This is not gonna do you any good. You're grounded. Period. Hey, Jody, you know better than to use Aiden when you're angry. Are you done? Are you proud of yourself? I hope so. Because you have to clean all that up.
Stop it, Aiden. They don't give a shit if we break everything in this goddamn room. If that's not gonna work, we have to figure out what will.
How was that?
Yeah, she's calmed down. She smashed up the apartment first, but she's calmed down. Okay. Sure. I'll see you tomorrow.
Trying to figure out what I can do. This feels a little mean.
I'm really sorry, Cole. I hate myself for doing this, but you understand, right? I need to go out tonight. Yes, I know. It's too late to turn back now. Locked. Of course it is.
You got the guy with the key card right there.
Well, hello, Cole, Jody. A little late for a day trip, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm feeling I'm feeling sick. I'm feeling sick, so we were just gonna go, and get some fresh air.
You okay? You want I should call the infirmary?
No, there's no need. You know, Cole's looking after me, so. Right, Cole? Yeah, so.
What's up, Cole? Cat got your tongue? Hmm?
He's in a really bad mood. He hasn't even said a word all day. He lost his voice. I think it's like a virus or something. That's more than I've gotten out of him all day long. So.
Hope it's not contagious, buddy. You should be home in bed if you ask me. Safer for all of us. All right, well. See ya. Go on now.
Well, at least we don't have to look for Cole's car. There's cameras everywhere. Better not hang around here too long. Now get in the car and start it up. I'm not really out of sight.
Drunk?
It's not the most glamorous escape, but it'll do. Let's go, Aiden. Try not to attract attention, okay?
Do they not know she can do this yet? Control people?
You'll forgive me, right? I'll be back soon. And don't worry, I'll be fine. Okay, Aiden. Take him into the forest. Make sure he's safe.
The forest? That's not fucking safe. Should probably just send him down the road. That's more safe. Oh, I guess I gotta take him into the forest. Well, shit. That looks like there's rocks over there, so I guess we're going this way? Dude, that's not safe. That's... Why would you do that? Not... I can't remember if he comes back dead or not.
Well, this is the place.
Well, you know what I mean.
The girls must be
Not
inside
literally.
already.
The girls? I was gonna say, who's her fucking friends? She almost fucking I mean, we... You know, after the birthday incident. She's still underage, right? They gotta be high school.
They're not here yet. We'll wait.
How old are you, miss?
I'm 21. I just want a lemonade.
That's not what I meant to do. Oh, you can play pool. Ah, fuck.
You need a partner?
I'd actually rather just play on my own, if that's okay.
Shooting pool on your own.
Ugh, god damn it, dude.
Takes two to play that game.
No, no, no.
Ladies first.
Pretty sure I said fuck off. I guess I fucked that up. I don't know how.
What you doing in here all on lonesome?
Nothing?
That was a terrible shot.
Truth be told, you look kind of young to be in here. How old
And
are
you should fuck right off.
It's none of your business. And besides, it's impolite to ask.
Whoa, I'm impressed. Your parents know you're in here?
Are we playing pool or 20 questions? Hey! Back off!
Well, maybe you know you want to.
God damn it.
Who's there? Where are you, creep? Show yourself! Come out, you fucking coward!
Guess the bartender is in on it. guys are gonna fucking kid it.
We gotta get out of here, man. I don't like it. Get out of me now, Frank. Oh! It's fucked up. I'm seeing things and there ain't none there. It's like some fucking spirit come to punish us for our sins.
Shut the fuck up, Frank. That's bullshit.
Fuck it, Earl. I don't want to die.
Nobody's dying. We're getting the fuck out of here.
Jesus.
Jesus! What the fuck you doing, Sam? Open the goddamn door.
Ken!
Get out of the way. Break it down.
Yep. They're dead. You don't try to fucking rape my sister.
Frank, what's going on? Jesus Christ! Frank, talk to me! No! What's going on? No! No, Frank! Frank, no! Stop! No! No! No, please! No! 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 Shit! Ugh.
Jody! My God. Are you all right? Good God, what happened?
I just wanted to go out. Watch me like everyone else for once.
No. It's okay. It's okay.
I wonder how many passed the entrance guard, snuck or pushed out the DPA, rushed out the DPA, didn't hear the customers. I don't know what that means. 99% beat the attackers. 90% killed at least one attacker. Stayed in the bar. Oh, I get. So you could have left the bar. I have to remember that. Fuck, I should have left the bar. That would have been a better choice. I thought a prologue was the before, right? Why does this show it at the end? What is a prologue? I thought a prologue was the before. There's no prelogue. An epilogue is at the end, and a prologue is at the beginning. I went to, okay, so Google. I wrote, what is a prol? Prol. Because I was going to start typing, I was going to finish typing prologue. And the second option is, what is a prolapsed uterus? And then prolapse, and then prolapse anus? What is a prologue? A separate introductory section of a literary or musical work. Yeah. An event or action that leads to another event or situation. So why does it show the prologue at the end? Unless these sections were currently playing. Is this like just a very long ass introductory section, and then there's more coming up after that? Like this is a very I don't know how long this game is. I remember Heavy Rain being like a 12-hour game, and we are only about 4 hours into this game. I'm gonna say, how long is Beyond Two Souls? How long is Beyond. It says when focusing on the main objectives, Beyond Two Souls is about 10.5 hours in length. Okay. Now it says if you're strive to see all aspects of the game, you're likely to spend around 27.5 hours to obtain 100% completion. I don't know if that means multiple playthroughs though. I would assume that's multiple playthroughs, unless. So I'm assuming it's about 10.5 hour completion. So I don't know why it says prologue at the end. That's really weird. This is an interesting question. Is Beyond Two Souls as really bad as I'm hearing? Funny.
I don't know how to tell you this, Jody, so I'm just going to tell you. Your mom and I, we've been transferred. We have to leave the base. We really want to take you with us, but we think... Everyone thinks that it would be better for you to stay here with Professor Dawkins. Of course, we'll come to see you whenever it's possible, and when you're better, you'll join us in our new home. Okay? Well, I think it's for the best. Goodbye, dear.
Be brave, darling. I know this is difficult. I'm sure it'll work out for
We gotta go. Susan.
Just give me a minute, Philip.
It's enough. Come on.
He tried to kill me. Oh my God, she's evil. You're a monster. Do you hear me? A monster!
Oh my God. Jody.
Jody. I know how you feel. But you made the right decision.
I just felt he needed to feel the noose around his neck. Not my father. Choke Phil with Aiden. %62%. Feels about right. Navajo. Why is the prologue at the end? Oh, because it's a beginning. Okay, because that's her beginning.
Look, I'm totally exhausted and thirsty, and I have no clue where we fucking are, so just play nice and give me a break, okay?
I like how she talks to him kind of like a brother. Like, he helps her. Like, he acts like a big brother taking care of her quite a bit. The way he, you know, he's saved her so many times and he looks out for her. I know, yeah. It feels like I think they actually did a good. I mean, obviously they've been in a lot of situations, but he's always looking out for her. I don't know if she can actually hear him. She can actually. It sounds like she can actually hear him. I'm actually going to go ahead and end it here, though, for the night. We've been streaming for about 11 hours, 6 hours on the No Man's Sky stream, and 5 hours on this. I'm going to be heading off to bed now. I really enjoyed this. This game surprisingly looks really great for the upres. The character models especially look really good. It's kind of weird. I just saw the Reddit thread when I was looking at the stuff a second ago about how many people didn't like this game, and there's a lot of people that do like these games. I think what we see as video games, video games are an interactive medium, right? They're interactive entertainment, and I don't know exactly what we call a video game. I guess what we see as a game is something that allows us to. Usually we think as puzzles. I don't know what exactly, like even if it's something that's puzzle based, or even if it's like competitive checker, like even if it's like something like chess, checkers, right? But what we see as games, simple solution based things, or simple activities to entertain ourselves, right? And I think we need to see video games as something that video games have a very wide brush of what video games are. And what I like about these is this also takes. So we have the extreme. We have two kind of extremes in video games nowadays. You can go to both extremes, which is good. Video games have just like manga manga has like there's just so many different types of manga. Like there's something for almost everybody, right? Movies, hopefully there's something for movies out there. There's something for everybody. Same thing for video games nowadays, where there's video games that simply just there's no story whatsoever. It's all about the gameplay, gameplay features, and all that kind of stuff. And like I don't know. I don't know if Enter the Gungeon would be an example of that, where it's simply all about like min-maxing your weapons and finding out the best mechanics, and like all just tons of like um, using those mechanics to the utmost. Something like like a Mario, or like maybe not a Mario. Mario has a little bit of a story and stuff, but especially the older ones. But maybe there's some side scrollers or certain games that have literally no story, but it's all about just the gameplay, right? There's a lot of games that are just about the gameplay, literally no story, and a lot of people don't complain about those at all. A lot of people don't complain about those. There are people that do. I like having a story even in those games that are heavily video game focused. Or video game focused, that are gameplay focused. I always like having some sort of narrative or interesting something that builds on the lore or something like that. I mean, a good example is the Dark Souls series. It builds its narrative through the lore. There are characters and stuff, but it is very focused on gameplay, and there is not a heavy narrative story arc going through the entire thing. There is a little bit of story sprinkled here and there. There's a lot of lore and stuff in the items, and there's a lot of kind of story that you get throughout the world, just kind of how the world is. Environmental storytelling, as they call it, and like the characters give you a little bit of information here and there, and how the characters are, and how they talk, and how they react to the world. But you don't get you don't get the same kind of story arc as like a Final Fantasy game, or like a something like a The Witcher, like Witcher game or something like that, right? But on the other side, now this is a great example. That's why this is a great example of the other side, where it is so heavily focused on story and characters. People want to say it's just a movie, but it still has the interactive element. What I like about this is obviously it allows you to make your own choices, and that's what makes it a video game, I really think, or it makes it the interactive and what the video game element really brings to it, allowing you to make choices, allowing you to kind of allowing you to play, allowing you to make those character choices, allowing you to make the plays as you want to do them, making certain interactions and stuff like that. I wish there were some more dialogue choices. That would be great if they introduced some dialogue choices, and those dialogue choices also had consequences in how things turned out, rather than just actions. I guess there are some dialogue choices, like I could have I guess there are some dialogue choices, obviously, like talking to the I could have been more being more truthful versus evading questions, but I wish there was some more stuff like that. And I think this isn't these games like Heavy Rain. I haven't played Detroit Become Human. I think there's some other games like this. These aren't the games to their like the best they can be, but I think these are good representation of those games, and I think these are better than some of the other quote-unquote games that we call walking simulators. They're heavily narrative arcs where you go through with a character. What I really would like to see a little bit, I think a company that has a little, what they should do is bring in, not a company, but bring in some people that have a little bit more in the gameplay feature area, because I think when it comes to fighting off like the entities, fight, like they could have done a little bit of gunplay in stealthy sections. When I say stealthy, it doesn't have to be like Call of Duty stealthy or Assassin's Creed stealthy, but they could have done a little bit more. They could have done more of a more. They could have done a more interesting or more. I think they could have done something better with those sections. I think the sections where you see her training especially where she does and goes in and sneaks behind and knocks out characters. I think those are actually interesting. I think those are well done, but I think they could mechanically have done them more in a video game, more in a gameplay heavy way. There also could have been a more interesting way, like I said, fighting the entities when you're in the Aiden mode and you're fighting the entities rather than just the couple motions that you have with the sticks. There could have somebody with a more creative mind could have come up with something to fight, like do the fighting with the entities, whether it's a beat like motion, like a motion game, whether it's hitting certain trigger. I mean, like it didn't have to be like just a quick time event thing. There could have been an actual video game, like a video game element to it, more of a gameplay element to it. It could have been more of a, they could have made it more video gamey. I don't know how else to say it. There could have been more of a gameplay aspect. There could be more gameplay, better gameplay at the very least, because it's very basic. It's not just very basic. It's I don't want to say non-existent, but it still requires you to do stuff and be interactive with it, but it's not very thinking. It's just I don't know how else to more explain it well than basic. So I think if they could have done that, if they could have find those couple areas where like she needed to do stealth sections, hiding from entities and doing some stealthy things where she could have thrown objects to distract them, or using her powers to distract them a little bit here and there. If she could have, when fighting the entities, giving a better way for Aiden to fight the entities in a more interesting way with a better gameplay feature, like a better gameplay there, then I think if those could have been ironed out and somebody could have designed something better, I think those would have been better. But I think this is the gameplay, like I'm saying, like video games kind of offer something for everybody, and I don't think this is a bad video game. I think this obviously, like I said, handle something on the very narrative side. Somebody that just wants something very story heavy, I think it could lend. I don't mind them giving an option for someone that just wants the story thing, but somebody that wants more video game aspects and more of a challenge and be able to have gameplay aspects to it, then I think they really should design those features in there. And then, like I said, when you have that option at the beginning of the game, where it says I play video games all the time, or I don't play video games at all. I rarely play video games, or I don't play them at all. You could do those two options, and then you could have those more advanced gameplay features in there, and then if it's for the one option, the more advanced option, and then for the person that just wants to do the narrative, then you have the more basic features in there. And I don't have a problem with that. Video games, I like video games that cover kind of all spectrums. I like even like they have just point and click mystery games, just old point and click mystery games. They still have those. There's just like choose your own adventure games. Those are video games. Those are all like they used to be choose your own adventure books, and then choose your own adventure games, and they made them a little more complicated and then some more interesting things, and they could do some visuals and stuff with them. And I wish they could add, like I said, having some dialogue choices in here would have been the best thing, and I wish they evolved that a little bit. I haven't played Detroit Become Human. It'd be interesting to see. I think that game does have some dialogue choices, allowing you to choose some dialogue. I'm not 100% sure though, so that'll be interesting to see if that has any evolution at all, or if it's the exact same formula. Also, it would be nice to see them do this. I would like this similar formula, but have some gameplay, more heavily mechanical gameplay aspect, where it's maybe a little bit of combat, a little bit of gunplay, or I don't mind the fighting thing. The fighting thing would be great where it's not cutscene oriented. where there's certain scenes where you need to do a little bit of fighting here and there. The character has a fighting like a fighting background or something like that, and they get into fighting situations, and it's not simple quick time events. The constant quick time events, I don't think they're done terribly, but that's what I'm saying is do a slightly more advanced, having more advanced in a simpler form for the two different times of plays. I think is a good choice. But again, this game, I think it fills a role. It fills something. We have, like I said, we have games that are completely focused on something, and this completely focused on something. As long as this wasn't advertised as something completely different, which I don't think they were. I think they were very advertised as very story narrative driven, like story heavy, narrative driven. Um, they, I don't think they were advertised as anything else as far as I remember. Um, like I wasn't very focused on them at the time. Heavy Rain, I remember the mystery and people talking about how the story was really good and interesting. So, but I really don't remember this one and how it's like marketed at all. But so I like that. I like that for something and everything. But I like these. I also like this one. This one's far more interactive, far more interesting, and the fact that when it comes to this kind of walking, what I want to call it a walking simulator, but it's not necessarily just a walking simulator. But it's closer to a walking simulator. It's pretty close to a walking simulator, and it's in the same category. It's in the same category. I would lump them in the same category. It's very narratively focused. There's very little gameplay, when it comes to it. But when it comes, like, I think like they've all gone to the Rapture, or they've all something gone to the Rapture is one of them, and like Dear Esther or something is another one, where I don't know if those have any other narrative outcomes. Where these games have multiple choices, different different ways you can go, and the story can change, and that means different outcomes, different cutscenes. I think at the very least, games should probably go in those paths, at least in those paths. I think it's probably not a good idea. I mean, if you want to do a one and done story, that's fine. If you have a story to tell and you just want to do a one and done, that's good. That's okay. I don't think that's a problem. Especially like if you got a story to tell, one and done, that's okay. But I think from a gameplay perspective, it'd be a good idea to include other gameplay features, whether it be collectibles. That's another thing. More like they have some hidden bonus things in here. I don't know what they are, but there are some other things. I think though, if designing your game, if you don't have specifically a one and done story really that you want to do, I think having a little bit of a branching narrative would be the best way to go. And I think these ones reflect a better version of this, and I like them for what they are. I don't know how else to better place it. They fit into their niche quite well, and I like them for that. I like the characters, and I like the narrative stuff. Now I like it, and I can understand why people don't like them, but I don't think they advertise themselves for anything else for what they are, and I think they fit their niche quite well. And it's nice that people find them for that, but I kind of just have it, not disdain, but I very much disagree for people saying they're not video games or something like that. Video games have a very, I mean, video games are just an interactive medium where if you can play it and you can do things in it, it's a game. I mean, the word game, like, games is very, like, category is very broad, and you can do stuff. And if you turn a movie into an literally a movie into an interactive medium, that's what a lot of video games are. It's just movies that are interactive mediums. Very interactive mediums, don't get me wrong, but you could take a lot of video games and just take out the interactive part, and just take a lot of the narrative the narrative and design and the world, all that, and you could put it into a movie. It'd be a long movie, like 10 hours sometimes, anywhere between 5 and a very wide ranging of long hours. But they are very similar in that sense. So it is easy to take the narrative of a story and have a lot of interactive choices to it. And remember, in the 80s, in the 90s, these kind of video games, just not high def graphics, like choose your own adventure video games, were a very big thing. Not necessarily Dungeons and Dragons, but like a lot of fantasy video games had a lot of choose your own adventure style things where there was multiple paths you could do and kind of outcomes, party members and stuff like that. And that's kind of what rolled into a lot of the West, like the RPG scene and stuff like that, was out of those choose your own adventure books and stuff like that. So this is kind of that scaled up to a more extreme. I too would like a little bit more gameplay out of it, but I don't necessarily need a whole bunch. I think I think it would be great if they had somebody that knew gameplay a little bit better and could refine certain aspects. Like we could have having sneaking, and if they could take sneaking like from the what was the game? The Last of Us series, where you could sneak around and throw objects and knock people out that way. So in the certain segments where you are going to do that, she can, and rather than just it being very clunky where she runs up very stiltedly up against the wall and stuff, that she could sneak around more mechanically. The animation looks better. She could sneak around, like lob some things, distract enemies, or use a button to use Aiden to distract an enemy, and then sneak up behind them and knock them out or something. And it looked a little better and it played a little better. And then you could implement those sneaking segments a little bit more. And then also the combat using Aiden and Aiden mode when you're fighting entities could be a little bit more visually interesting and actually fighting. Like if you could actually see a visualization of Aiden and you could actually fight the enemy or something, or whatever that gameplay aspect is. I just don't know off the top of my head what I'd want right away, but other than just using the two thumbsticks to do a couple motions to actually have more of a gameplay, a better gameplay feature to fight them, I think that would be the best two places to start with. And you could probably have another aspect somewhere else. I'm not quite sure where. But then I think that would really flush out the interactive portion. Well, I think the other interactive portion would be add some dialogue choices. Add some dialogue choices. I know there are a couple dialogue choices, and it just simply is the yes, no, asked questions, stuff like that. But add in some more dialogue choices that are more like some more optional dialogues that add in some bonus stuff, or some dialogues that if you choose wrong like there's multiple dialogue options and allow you to speak your way out of stuff a lot better. I mean, I kind of had those dialogue option. I kind of had a little bit of that when I was talking to the guy and being able to sneak out of the DPA to go to the bar. I had a little bit of that, but I just didn't have those dialogues on screen. I think having a little bit more of that, having a little bit more of dialogue choices, and being able to, because a lot of the lines are just written and things just are said. But if you want another gameplay feature, having dialogue choices and interactivity, like between those kind of between those characters, and having those choices have consequences, because you already have consequences and having choices matter later on, with other things, with actions. Go ahead and have those dialogue choices, like have some dialogue that you can choose from, and have those choices have consequences later. Would be a third area, and I think that would kind of round it into a better package But I still think, like I said, this still fills a pretty nice niche. But I can understand why somebody that wants a little bit more gameplay is not happy with it. But like I said, we have games that kind of fill all the categories. Obviously, this fits in quite nicely with the Telltale video games, right? They're very similar, where you have certain QuickTime events and you have lots of dialogue and story and outcomes and stuff like that, but you don't have much gameplay. And then you have even more extreme versions where you have just no gameplay whatsoever, which just basically just what we call walking simulators. But then we have the other side of the spectrum, and we have everything in the other side of the spectrum where we have no narrative and just gameplay, and it's I don't know what to call that. Just gameplay would be like Mario Party, or I don't know. I really don't know. I can't even think. A lot of games incorporate some sort of narrative, but there's a lot of indie games now. A lot of even some sort of indie game or something that's probably got very little or no narrative, and it's just all about running and gunning and shooting and playing in front of friends. Oh, I know. What is it? Is it Vampire Slayer? There's a game out on Steam that everyone is playing, or something like that, where it's just you're a vampire hunter or somebody killing creatures, and all you do is it's a roguelite. You kill a whole bunch of people, you upgrade your character, you get to collect some gold, and then you upgrade with the gold that you get, and then you continue to go from there. And it's pretty much, as far as I know, it's all gameplay, no story. So that's the exact opposite. And then of course you have everything in between, like a Mass Effect, which is pretty narrative and also pretty gameplay. It has a lot of gameplay and action and stuff like that. So, like I said, I think it fills a nice niche, whatever. So, I quite enjoy it. I like this one. I like Heavy Rain because of the mystery, and I like mysteries quite a lot. I really like this one because of the what is it? My brain's not working. The psychological, the supernatural element. I don't know. I'm gonna play it again. Obviously, we're not done yet, but I'm gonna play it in the the chronological order and see how different it seems. I can't remember now if I played it in chronological order or not. I want to say I didn't. I don't know if playing it in chronological order was even an option before. I think this feels right. I think this feels right. Doing it this way. But I just, for some reason, I don't remember it jumping around so much. I mean, I remember a lot of the stuff so far that we've done, and I like the story so far, but I forgot how much it jumped around, and it is a little bit too much for me. I like it, but it's just a little too much. I think if they cut it down to about 25% and kept some of the narrative sections when she was younger chronologically, and then jumped forward, and then jumped back, and then jumped forward. Allow a couple segments of, a couple chapters to play out when she's young, and then a couple chapters to play out when she's older, and then a couple chapters to play out when she's younger. If they went back and forth like that, but it seems like they're doing a chapter when she's younger, a chapters when she's older, a chapter when she's younger, a chapters when she's older, and it really kind of gets in the way. And it is interesting. It was an interesting choice, but you're kind of telling two stories at once, and I can understand some people might be like, they might have been like, well, the younger years don't really have much going on when it comes to any kind of gameplay, but the older years have some more like action-oriented stuff, like doing stuff on the train, running away, and fighting, and a lot of that kind of stuff. So they wanted to kind of put some more interesting segments in there at the same time. And I can't deny them that, but that's why I said is maybe they should have done like two chapters, do like two younger years like two chapters and two chapters. I think that would have worked a little better instead of just going back and forth every chapter or so. But I'm going to try and do the chronological one also, and see how that feels. See how that story, how that plays out differently, and how much it changes. See if they did any different editing in that, and if it see if it feels like a normal story, like if it, I don't know how to say it. Since they made the game to go back and forth like this, if they realign, just take out. Sometimes if you go and make something to go back and to jump around, and then you just go ahead and you can't just take it and then put it in chronological order, and it's just gonna be like okie dokie, you know. It doesn't work. But maybe it will. Maybe they can just put it in chronological order, I'm saying it weird, chronological order, and it'll be okay. But I feel like the pacing might be a little bit off, yeah, the pacing's gonna be off, or something's gonna feel weird, you know, like maybe it feels like you. I think sometimes like it'll jump. A lot of times when she's old, so if you have a scene from when she's older, you'll see something going on, like Aiden, her relationship with her and Aiden, um, and then you'll jump back to when she's younger, and then you also see that relationship, a certain aspect of relationship with her and Aiden, and then that, or you'll see something going on with her when she's younger, and then the next scene when she's older, you'll see a similar aspect of her when they're older. Like the scene of when she's younger and she's older have a connection with each other, and then if you take them out of chronological, I mean, if you take them out of that order of how they're cut up and put together right now and just put them in chronological order, you'll lose that connection between scenes, and it'll kind of feel funky. It'll feel weird. So I'm interested to see if it feels like that at all, or not. So that'll be interesting to see. All right, I know I talked and yapped and all that, but I just want to kind of talk about those things. Like I said, I'm enjoying this. I like it. I'm not one for walking simulators, but this one's got such a strong narrative, and I like the games where I like it because characters can die. I could have lost any of the I could have accidentally lost any of those any of the homeless people. You know, I could have lost the lady and her baby. I could have lost the guy that saved me. I could have gone too long and not made any money, so we didn't have any food. Since those aspects are in there and those consequences are in there, it makes it really interesting to me. And I like games that do that, and I wish there were kind of more games like that. And this story especially is very interesting to me. That's what I like about. I can't remember who makes this, but they make interesting stories. The Heavy Rain, I think, is very interesting, but at the same time, it's kind of more of your not. I want to say standard mystery, but it's just, you know, it's a mystery. But then this one all of a sudden comes out of left field with this this uwu, you know, sci-fi, not sci-fi, but I like sci-fi stuff. But well, I guess it is science fiction, but at the same time it's you know, entities and paranormal stuff, and all of a sudden it's just like it's an interesting narrative. It's an interesting story to me, and I like it. It's just kind of out of nowhere. And then the Detroit Become Human one, I think, is an interesting idea also. I just haven't played it yet, so that'll be an interesting one to check out in the future also. So yeah. I don't think a lot of the walking simulators or a lot of the other seriously narrative heavy focused games do this. There was another game that I was checking out. I think it's called Deliver Us Mars. No, okay, there was two. It was Deliver Us Mars and Deliver Us the Moon, I think they're called. And those are both very narratively focused sci-fi ones. And I'm interested in those, but I'm not sure how good they are. So I'm just interested. I'm not 100% sure how good. Like, you know, I haven't played them yet. So if those can do something similar, but those are, you know, I don't know how else to call them, but walking simulators. They do have puzzles and stuff like that, so there are puzzles and activities in them. But I don't think there's shooting. I don't think there's a whole bunch of, you know, there's not a whole bunch of other major gameplay. But it is very narratively driven. So if that has a very interesting story, then I could see that. I like the sci-fi and stuff element, but other walking simulators, unfortunately, I don't think deliver as interesting a story. So, but anyways, that's it. Please check out the Discord if you're interested in the About section. That's where I give notifications when I go live and what games I'll be playing. You can request any video games there when I say I'm going live. And also, if I'm playing a multiplayer game, you can ask to join us. And also to feel free to ask in chat in case I missed you in Discord. And also, check out the YouTube if you're interested in that. So hopefully I'll be on tomorrow. I might be doing a short stream because I stream so long a day. I'm not sure yet. Tomorrow is Friday? Is tomorrow Friday? Is tomorrow Friday? Yes, Friday, because it is Friday morning right now. So yeah, so either tomorrow Friday, or tomorrow will be the last day of the week, Friday. So I will see you guys then, hopefully. Otherwise, if I don't, I'll try to give you guys a heads up on Discord, like I said. So you guys have a good one. Bye-bye now.